Welcome to a very special 3026 breakdown where it's time to stop being nice and start getting real. And I really fucking hate these 8 Twitter accounts. They literally ruined Twitter for me. So I blocked all these people because at first I just unfollowed, but then they would get retweeted for some reason into my fucking timeline, which just makes me apoplectically angry. So now I've blocked them, not because I'm scared of confrontation. Please bring it to me. My email address is johnscrazylife@gmail.com. If you have some shit to say, I am here waiting and I will clap back at you. So with no further ado, let's look at the 8 worst MMA Twitter accounts. Number 8. Flying Brian J. This guy is literally the most boring content creator I have ever seen in anything. I would rather watch paint dry than watch this dude's videos. Not only that, he's not knowledgeable at all about MMA, his production value is not bad, and he's just boring as shit, man. The other thing is, he's like a shameless self-promoter. This dude jumped up in my DMs and was like, hey bro, can you share my video? And so I test people when they do that. So I did it, and then I sent him back a video to send out, and he sent it out, but that was the only time he ever promoted my stuff, right? The rest of the time he was just hitting us up to promote his stuff. Just selfish, shady, trying to get over. Don't like him. I unfollowed him, and he instantly unfollowed me too. He cares way too much about his followers. He's a real lame fucking dude. Don't follow him. Number 7. Black Jordan Breen. This guy is basically a men's rights advocate. He gives out relationship advice when, dude, you do not seem to be in a position where you should be giving relationship advice to anybody. Also, I just feel like he's constantly trying to stir up drama and asking these weird questions on Twitter. I literally had to block him. I was like, I can't even with this guy. He gets retweeted onto my timeline, both in MMA and on Black Twitter, which is the best part of Twitter, and he's just in there asking stupid questions and saying dumbass shit. Guy's just a dumbass. Number 6, Jonathan Snowden. If you ever want to see a pathetic middle-aged man who's basically bipolar, follow Jonathan Snowden. In one breath, he'll be crying about how he was banned and nobody said anything but Ariel, and then in the next breath, he'll be talking about how he started all this stuff, and he's been recording and writing about this since the 90s, and he's the OG, and then he'll talk about how he's terrible. The guy is legitimately, I think, has mental issues. I wouldn't be surprised if he was bipolar. Terrible. Number 5, MMA Roasted. The worst jokes I have ever seen. When Fox Sports gave him a job, which thankfully they took away because they realized he's fucking talentless and a complete hack, but I was just like, what the fuck? The bar must just be so low. There's a lot of funny people out there. There's a lot of funny people who make MMA jokes, but this dude is not one of them. In fact, he was going to be higher on the list, and only through the good grace of Dan Levy's good name did you end up at the 5th spot, because you are fucking worthless. Speaking of fucking worthless, Brendan Schaub and The Fighter and the Kid. Again, how the fuck do these people have jobs? Brendan Schaub is not funny. He's not smart. And also, you're not Conor McGregor's manager. Stop starting every third sentence with, if I'm Conor McGregor's manager. And who's the kid? The kid is like a 50-year-old man. You're not a kid, bro. You are a middle-aged baby boomer. You're old as fuck. Both of you are stupid as fuck. Obviously, Brendan Schaub, you don't know much about MMA because you thought you could beat Cain Velasquez, and Joe Rogan had to literally make you cry to teach you that even in a wrestling match you would get fucked up. You talked shit about Ronda, and then Travis Brown beat your ass. And then you're still talking about her because you're a scorned girlfriend, and basically the only way you can keep your name in the news is to talk about how you fucked Ronda Rousey once. You're fucking pathetic. Go away. Number 3, GIF Man, aka Zombie Prophet. Another guy who I think has literal mental issues. If you want to see bipolar, go check out his timeline. He goes from ranting about Conor to threatening to block people to basically calling people to fight. He's like, oh, you have something to say, I'll fight you. Dude's insane, man. And he thinks he's so important because he makes GIFs, bro. Who cares? No one gives a fuck about your GIFs. No one cares. There are plenty of people that make GIFs. We don't need you. I blocked you, and then you blocked me back. Wow. I already blocked you, bro. You can't fire me. I quit. All right, now we're getting into the people that I really, truly find awful. Justin Golightly. This kid is completely untalented. Go look at the posters he did for McGregor for New York, 205. They literally look nothing like McGregor. This dude's getting paid for art that I literally could get better art on Fiverr for $5. not only that, he's like kind of a blowhard. He posted this thing on Twitter where he's like, last year I was sleeping in my car and now I've like made it. And it's like, dude, you're just humble bragging. He humble brags, he makes dumb jokes, he has terrible artwork. Like the whole secret moves thing, like you're just a weirdo, bro. Like you're stupid, you don't have talent, you're a terrible artist, and no one is interested in anything you have to say. Go away. Don't go lightly, just go away. And last, but certainly least, the absolute worst MMA Twitter account of all time, Susie Kuzi. So Susie Kuzi actually ran me off Twitter. Like, back in the day, I talked to her and Patrick Wyman and a couple other people, and this was back when I thought that internet friendships were real, and I thought we were kind of cool, and then one day she just, like, came at me about striking. And, again, I hate to talk about, like, oh, I train so I know more than you. I think this is the third time in, like, 26 videos I've mentioned that. But, dude, I've trained a lot of striking. I did one-on-ones with Anthony Hardonk. I went over to the Voss gym in Amsterdam. Like, I've done the Bang Ledwick seminar twice. Like, I've gone to AKA to do training. Like, I have done some stuff with striking. I've studied books. I know about striking. This is a broad who knows nothing about MMA. She literally has no knowledge of anything, and she was trying to correct my striking technique, and I just blew up. I was like, fuck this. I'm out. Like, people who are supposed to be my friend are coming at me like this. Fuck you. And you know, before that, I was already kind of annoyed with her because in the beginning she had like no followers, and then she started getting blown up because she's a pretty good-looking blonde. Like, she's a skinny blonde lady, and you know, in the MMA community, like, if you're blonde and pretty, look at Tommy Loren, right? Like, if you're blonde and thin, that's enough to get you attention almost anywhere online. So I think a lot of her attention was coming from that. And I actually made a comment about that, and in the beginning she was like, oh, well, let me know if I'm doing that. And she definitely became that. If you look at her avatar, she's got like handcuffs. She's like constantly trying to talk about sex and like drop sex jokes to kind of bait dudes into following her. She's not funny. She writes the worst puns ever. And I know this might come off a little misogynistic because I'm like kind of attacking a woman here, but I want to make the point that there are plenty of women in the MMA Twitter sphere who are amazing. Like Jessica Hundal, leg kick TKO, she's awesome. Crooklyn, Steffi Haynes, awesome. Fernanda Prades, who works for MMA Junkie, awesome. So this really isn't about her being a woman, it's about her being fucking whack. Like, I would have the exact same criticisms of her terrible puns. The only thing that would change is the baiting with sexuality if she were a man. But if she were a man, she would still be number one on this list because she knows shit about shit. She's constantly moralizing and trying to take the moral high ground. She makes terrible, terrible jokes that no one thinks is funny, and for some reason you guys jock her. Like, it really hurts my head. Like, I don't understand it. There are way better sports jokes out there. There are way better, funnier people out there. Like, why are you... They're better looking girls. If you just want to follow a hot girl, follow Ariane Celeste, right? Like, what's your problem? Like, the fact is, like, a lot of dudes shoot their shot at her or thought they had a chance. Same thing with Karen Bryant, right? Like, Karen Bryant's constantly getting hollered at online if you check her mentions. And that's really why people pay attention to you, and that's the only thing that you have to offer, because your content is fucking awful, and you really should delete your account and go deal with your life. Thanks for watching the 8 worst MMA Twitter accounts. I really appreciate you watching this, unless you're one of those 8 accounts, in which case, delete your fucking account, loser!